We promise you. But it was not easy to find a phone number. Politicians don't like to have cell phones that can receive text messaging. So this is as best we could do. You can send them a message right now. What we'd love to do is if you go to our site in the future, what we want to provide you is actions like this, simple, directed actions. You might have heard of a group called D.F.O. They've done great work in the world on climate change. They take citizens like you, and they don't barrage you with emails. They just give you a directed action that's going to help. So that's what we hope to do with the Wild Salmon Circle. So do sign up. And here's the action you can take. Again, remove salmon farms now. And don't forget the exclamation point. About 130 farms in BC coast, salmon farms, are owned by Norwegian corporations. All that money, millions of dollars, is going to shareholders. It's not staying here. We do get a little bit from these jobs in the farms, but it's pretty few jobs indeed. So these farms, 90% of them are owned by Norway. Second, about 80% of the fish, the farmed fish, we don't eat it here in Canada. 80% of that fish goes to the US, a lot of it to California. So we're not getting the money, and we're not eating the fish. And so what are we getting? We're getting sea lice, we're getting diseases that's a whole other subject that someday we're probably going to know a lot more about. And there are diseases that the D.F.O. refuses to even research that are a possibility, a real possibility with salmon farms. So Chile, as some of you may know, had a huge boom in its salmon farming industry. They grew from $169 million in 1991 over about 15 years to a $2.2 billion industry in Chile. Now that's 2,200% growth or something like that over 15 years. And Chile was loving it. This was money, jobs. Then the corporations were doing zero in the way of ecological responsibility. And do you know what happened? ISA disease, which some researchers are saying is a possibility of spreading here, wiped out massive amounts of farms and fish and also other ecological effects. What happened? 15,000 Chileans lost their jobs because of disease. Now, there aren't a lot of native salmon in Chile, but we would also lose not only jobs, but if we had this kind of disease outbreak, and it is possible, that goes into all our wild stocks, and the D.F.O. is doing zilch to look into that, zilch. We have to demand that kind of research be done. It's not being done because nobody's telling them they have to do it. We have to tell them to do this. And I'm going to, thank you. I'm going to pass it back to Maria. And again, if you need to get warm, please sway into the sun here.